Hi guys, John Picarello here. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you. And today I want to talk to you about owning your personal development. And a lot of people involved in personal development, but when you own it means you take it personal. Yeah, well, it's personal development. We should take it personal. We should mean business when we are in personal development because we always want to take our game to the next level. And two things to ask you about personal development before you begin. You need to ask yourself, where do you want to be in 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years? And be specific. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be at home? Where do you want to be in business? Where do you want to be, even in your hobbies? You know, we are where we are, wherever we are, and it's who we are, or we have to be fully present. So where do you want to be in the years ahead? Start planning now. Write it out. Secondly, what does success look like to you? You know, some people say, I want to be successful. Well, that can mean different things to different people. So when it comes to personal development, the first thing you have to ask is, where do you want to be? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years out. Secondly, you need to ask yourself, when it comes to that personal development, and you should be specific in it, what does success look like to you? How will you know when you arrived? How will you know when you've achieved all your objectives? What does that look like? And write that down. I would encourage you. Write it down, be very specific. And also, I'd like you to just take note of the following things I'm going to do is 5 simple things to ponder. And this will help you in personal development. Ask these questions of yourself. So these 5 questions. First, are you aware of things beyond your circle of influence? And that's really important, because you should be very aware of your surroundings, what's going on around you. I like to watch the news, I like to read, because I want to know what's going on outside of my own backyard. I want to know what's going on in my city, what's going on in my nation, what's going on in my part of the world. What is world news? What's going on around the world? What are the current events? What are people facing? All of these things come into play when it comes to personal development simply because the current environment we're in now may not be this way 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. So how will you adapt? So personal development really takes in how you interact in your current environment. So are you flexible? Are you not flexible? You know, there's a saying, it's a little funny, but it says, blessed are the flexible, they shall never be bent out of shape. So that's really important when it comes to changing environment. So personal development has to be something that will carry you through changing generations. So are you aware of what goes on outside of your circle of influence? Secondly, do you see a desire to develop gifts and talents in others? When you note others have gifts and talents and they have a desire to improve on them, jump in and help them. Why? Because it will develop you. The more people you develop, the more you develop yourself. So it's a win-win, especially when you're others-oriented. Third, are you grappling with issues before any around you are even aware of them? So that speaks to being ahead of the curve, because the more you develop yourself, the more insight, the more intuitive you gain, and you'll start seeing things before others. So are you taking time to think through them even before others see them? By the time they're able to talk about it, you should be already planning for it. So understanding that personal development will keep you not only abreast of the facts, will keep you ahead of the curve. And fourth, do you recognize opportunities and challenges in current events? You know, when current events are going south, a lot of people love to complain and point fingers, lay blame. Well, it's the most full treasure trove or treasure-filled opportunities is during troublesome times. So when things are going south, how are you responding to them while other people are reacting to them? And extract from them the lessons that are gold and will take you into the future. So learn problem solving during difficult situations. And finally, fifth, are you passionate about learning from the successes and failures that you've experienced? Be passionate about your failures, because there is gold in every failure. And I always say this when it comes to personal development. If you learn from your failures and learn how to redirect and turn around and then replay that the next time, but in a different way where it brings you success the second times around, did you really fail? Of course not. So finally, I want to give you these 3 aspects of personal development, and it'll help you. And the 3 things are, first is plan your development journey and be detailed. Plan it. Plan your action steps. Secondly, record your wins and losses and examine both, because you'll be ahead of the curve if you do that. Mark your takeaways. That's why you record them. And finally, after you do the first 2, review, revise, and redirect. Review your performance, revise the mistakes and make them better, and redirect your life. And you'll always be on a path to personal development. I hope that's helped you. I'll talk to you next time.